Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, X. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. Man, Silver's sure having a good afternoon. Great afternoon. I looked at my K-Silv position. It was up 2.7 or something kind of towards the end of the day. MongoDB or MondoDB, I guess, had a big earnings report. And I guess that's an earnings trade. And also Credo is up really big. I think one of the diversified darlings has Credo in it. Hey, Alan, thanks for being here, man. Mark, I appreciate you being here as well. All right. Remember, this is not financial advice. Anything you hear today, you should consult with a licensed financial planner. All right. So let's get this going. We'll go over to this screen right here, of course. Now, look, Bitcoin bounced towards the end of the day. Thank goodness. Worst day for Bitcoin since April, though. I mean, right now it's holding a little bit of a higher low, and it reverted to a high volume node. Maybe it just wants to start trading here for a while it builds out a base, and then we'll try to take this one on again soon. So we'll see. We definitely don't want to make a new low, obviously. Let's look at IBIT. This is the vehicle these funds use to trade Bitcoin, so that's why I always look at it every day. It's holding a higher low as well. I guess it should. It's the same thing. All right. Well, let's look at the SPY. Jackson, what's up, buddy? What are you doing down there? You trying to get my attention? Jackson, you're all right. You're fine. You don't need any more food, buddy. Okay? Just sit down and behave. All right. So the SPY sold off a little bit towards the end of the day, but it was up quite a bit. It actually was up in the prior day's range for a while. Or I guess for most of the day, it was in the prior day's range. Why am I not sharing the screen? Gosh darn it. I'll remember to look at the right screen, but I don't remember to share it. Gosh darn it. I was surprised that text is probably from Dan or somebody. Tell me not, or Mark. Anyway, no, not yet. Anyway, that's fine. I shared the screen though. I either look at this one and talk about that one, or look at this one and talk about that one. Anyway, this is all I was showing was the markets. You guys have been looking at the markets all day. All right, so there we have it. So now let's go look at something else. Let's check out the index buffer report. We haven't checked this one out in a while. We didn't check it out this morning. Then after that, we're going to go look at the diversified darlings and see how blocks and K-yield and Alt-I and Alt-Y finished up. All right. Let's see if the feed and 5E doctrine is correct today. And it is. Feed and 5E are up more than anything else in SPY land. Up or down most is the way it goes. And YSPY got hit today. YSPY got hit today. Oh, well. But everything in SPY land got hit and pretty much caught all the downside of the parent. All of them. T-SPY caught a little bit more than all the downside of the parent. So did WDTE from Defiance. And so did JEP-I. Usually a steady one, but not today. Catching more downside than the parent. We'll go over here to NASDAQ land. And in NASDAQ land, the feed and 5E doctrine of NASDAQ land should be called the blocks in ULTI doctrine, because blocks in ULTI are up the most or down the most in NASDAQ land on a daily basis, depending on which way the market's going. Today, the market went down. There we have it. ULTI and blocks down the most. We're going to look at the trades they're doing and some stuff. We're going to look at that better in a second. But LFGY, also caught a lot of downside, as did ULTI, finishing down 1.8. WPay only finished down 1.1. Great job, WPay. Where's K-yield? Where did K-Yield finish? Where's K-Yield not on this chart? I know K-Yield's on this chart. Maybe K-Yield isn't on this chart. I don't even know how that could be. K-Yield has to be on this chart, right? I mean, let's put K-Yield right next to WPay and wherever it belongs here. WPay, YMAX, we'll put it right there between Alt-I and WPay. I could have sworn I put this on here. It's got to be somebody. It's got to be somewhere else, is it not? Doesn't look like it is. All right. Well. K-Yield's underlying is the NASDAQ, I would say. I mean, that's going to be its closest component. And my Tasty Trade account was showing that I was up 12% today, but they haven't adjusted for the split. They think ULTY went from, $4 to $40 or whatever. Anyway, all right. So there's K-Yield. So now let's get back in here, look at that index buffer report. And K-Yield is right here. So we can look at K-Yield. We look at all four of them right here. And then where's SEPI? Usually if these are down, SEPI's getting crushed also. Anyway. I swear, SEPI's, okay, here's SEPI. We need to move SEPI over here closer to these other ones. Anyway, all right, whatever. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully you guys are watching that. Okay, good. All right, so let's look at the Yield Max Buffer report really fast. I mean, Marnie, gosh darn it, Marnie. I mean, how many percent can they lose? I mean, there's only 100% in something, and they lose 5% every day. I know they've lost 5% in 20 days. They've got to be down 100%. Come on. I mean, how much percent can you lose? And the answer is infinite. Infinite percent you can lose. Or, well, I guess you can only lose 100, but they aren't additive. There's what I'm trying to say. You guys know what I'm trying to say. All right. In the good land for Yield Max, I mean, looks like Babo, Dizzo, NVDY, of course. NVIDIA's killing it. Aptly. Anyway, all right. So let's get out of here and go look at something more interesting. Let's go look at the diversified Darwins. Now let's start up here with the overview. We have up here, we have the top holdings for all of the companies. K-Yield's top holding is Teradyne. Block's top holding is Hodl. Assets under management, everything we need to see. Here's the performance dashboard for the day and total return since inception of ULTI and Blocks. Well, Blocks is down 29.62. I don't think that's up to date. I think it's down more than 30. Hang on. Yes, unfortunately, Blocks is down 30. I'm not sorry. ULTI is down 30. Look, Blocks is doing a lot better. I mean, they're kind of opening up some ground on ULTI. ULTY doesn't look bad compared to Blocks and ULTI, but it does look bad compared to K-Yield. Looks awful compared to K-Yield. It looks awful compared to all the rest of them. Maybe not LFGI, but anyway, look at QLDY since inception down 2.6. Where the NASDAQ, and that is its underlying, is down 1.9. That's an impressive fund. There's no free money, so it's got to do something bad. In a bullish market, it outperforms by a little bit, but because of that, in a bearish or a pullback, it underperforms by a little bit. but it doesn't have near the give up of these other ones like WPay or any of the other ones. Doesn't seem to yet. Now, to be fair, these other ones are more concentrated. So it's not really an apples to apples comparison, but I mean, that's an impressive. QLDY is an impressive fund. I mean, I think all these funds have some redeeming qualities, maybe outside of LFTY or all of them. I mean, that's why I put them on here. I put ones on here that, that are Chippy, GP2I, have lots of redeeming qualities. They're great funds, in my opinion. And I think all of these are. I mean, or have the potential to be. Maybe some of them aren't living up to their potential right now. ULTI, I'm looking at you. But anyway, so on a one-day return, we've already looked at this. ULTY got hit for 184 basis points on the downside. Blocks was down a lot worse. They rallied into the close, and crypto rallied too. ULTI down 3.3. I think they were down a little bit worse. K-Yield didn't have a great day, down 1.4. And here's good old steady QLDY down 41 basis points when the index it tracks was down 34. I mean, that's impressive. It catches about, in this case, it caught about 10% extra, but it didn't catch like 4 times the downside like these other more concentrated portfolios have. All right. Well, that's it for that. So now let's look at each one of these individually and see. One of these has Credo. I want to go through and find Credo. Well, it's not ULTY, of course. It's probably the one I don't have. Anyway, but you can see what was moving this today. I mean, everything was red. The only thing that was up was gold. Spider Gold shares. Alcoa was up. Analog Devices was up. Teradyne was up. Southern Copper. If this would have been the old build of ULTY, they wouldn't have had one thing up, because these other things like Southern Copper, that's a diversifier. Teradyne's a defense contractor. That one may have been in there, but Analog Devices wouldn't have been in the old one. Alcoa definitely wouldn't have been in the old one, and gold wouldn't have been in the old one. So, but anyway, so the diversification's helping somewhat today. Look at this. They also beat their average. This is the weighted average of their stocks, so like the one that's down the worst, look at this. This one's down 3.5 points, and it's 5% of the portfolio. So you multiply 3.5% times 5%, and you get how much it's dragging the portfolio. Anyway, you can average all those up, and you can see right here, the weighted average is down 1.5. ULTY is protecting capital a little bit versus its average at 1.17. Which is good. It has showing a little bit of buffer right there today. All right, so now we don't have to look at this. I look at the option positions on the show I do. If you guys are interested in the option positions, watch I do a daily show on this. All right, so ULTI, this is probably the one that had Credo. Of course, like I say, it's the one I didn't have. Oh, and they didn't pick up I wonder why the price isn't changing there. I think I know, but TeraWulf. Anyway, whatever. It was up big. Credo's killing it. Credo is killing it. I don't know if they had earnings, but I bet we can figure it out when we look at this chart. Absolutely, they did. They did, and they're up 15% in the post market. So now let's go do this. Well, I really like this new spreadsheet. This makes it so much easier. Before I'd have to go open another spreadsheet and find the trade. Well, now let's see if they were capped on the upside or what kind of option position they had on. Or maybe they were just straight long. No, they weren't just straight long, unfortunately. So they sold a call spread. They sold the 132, but then bought the 146. So right now they're trading at 171. So they're going to capture between 146 and 171. Now, but granted, whatever's between the strikes is a loss. That will be a loss because that one short option went in the money. So the distance between the strikes minus the premium will count as a loss, but then they get to count 146 to 171 as a profit. Not to mention this, they also have the stock. Or, well, I mean, I guess that's the deal. They have the stock, so that's why they get to count 146 to 171 as a profit. But that's a baller move. That's a baller move. I should have bought this when it dipped. I mean, I just think I have enough risk in the portfolio right now, and I don't like the way the market. I don't like things that are going on in the market or the economy, so that's why I did not add it. But anyway, that one should open up big in the morning. That was a good trade. Whoever did that trade. All right, so now let's go on to the next one. So now we have K yields. So K yields. Look at K yield. What they had was up. They had Teradyne. That was also in ULTY. They had silver, which wasn't in ULTY, but gold was. Good job, ULTY. Why didn't you get silver? Anyway, Reddit, Shift for Payments is up or are up. Both of those are up. AppLovin's up. Advanced Micro's up. Everything else is down. Some of it big. Look at Bitcoin Immersion down double digits. Jeez. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you can see right here the average stock. I can't believe that, even including this Bitmine Immersion, because it's 10% of the portfolio is down 3%. That makes 30 basis points. But anyway, you add it all up, and the entire portfolio was down 1.13. KO was down 1.08. So it didn't have as much buffer as ULTY did, but it also wasn't down quite as much as ULTY was on a, just looking at the change. But it performed a little closer to its weighted average. All right, so now let's look at Rex. So these guys, let's see, what did they have that was up? They had, somehow they squeezed out 3 winners. Is CoreWeave really up? That's got to be a data error. There's no way CoreWeave was up. Maybe, though. NVIDIA was up. Iron was up. The AI trade was up, I guess. NVIDIA, or big data centers, whatever you want to call that, and maybe CoreWeave's in that segment. But so you can look their average still, though, despite that, their average stock was down 3.1, and they outperformed on the downside by just a little bit. All right, well, we'll forgive those guys for that. Hope you guys like that new spreadsheet. I know it makes my life one heck of a lot easier. How's everyone doing today? You should have went. Yeah, I know it. I should have went harder last week. I should have. Anyway, and I probably would have if I would have already had blocks. I mean, blocks is super risky. ULTY is not exactly safe, but blocks makes ULTY blush, and I have both of them. And I just didn't want to add ULTI into the party also, at least until crypto's through being in a bear market. And so anyway, Mayor, what's up? Yeah, K Silver's your best performer today. That was mine too. Mine too, I think. I have it up here. Yeah, it was up 2.4. My best performer was Fiat, but I just have fractional shares. My second, I have good amount of Salty, though. Salty's up 1.6. YQQ's up. Yeah, I have a little bit of that. Or between the two of them, I have 15%. So something like that, YQQ and Salty. Unfortunately, it's more YQQ and less on Salty, but whatever, I'll take it. But yeah, K-Cell's awesome. K-Cell is freaking awesome. Hey, Chucking for Dividends. Where's Leatherface? Is Leatherface here today? He was in the morning stream and he left a comment and I didn't see it. But I told everyone to tell me where they were from. Or I said, I like to know where you guys are from. Leatherface is from Canada somewhere. I forgot where, though. Montreal or something. Anyway, when he comes back, I need to tell him I saw his comment. He said, hey, Max, I'm from Canada or something like that. Or I'm from Montreal. Anyway, oh, shoot. Okay. CoreWeave and Iron were added to some type of index. That's good to know, Randy. Is everyone watching the Fed tonight at 7 p.m.? No, I'm not. What's going on why are they having such a late meeting? I didn't know about that. I mean, I didn't know about that. Anyway, hey, DGen, how are you? We got Charles in the house. Big crypto holders seem to be unloading. What do you guys think about? I heard old Michael Saylor's unloading, but unloading shares, or no, he's unloading Bitcoin, or is he unloading shares? I'm trying to think. He's unloading one of the two, and I thought he just bought. Maybe it's shares that he's unloading, because because that's better than. I'm trying to think, because they have that ratio, and I guess it'd be better for him to unload shares than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's so cheap. But anyway, I heard he's selling, just putting pressure on the market. Something's supposed to happen. Powell's supposed to say something at 7. Okay, well, let's see what Claude knows about that, or maybe Grok. Grok is a better thing for rumors sometimes, and because what is Grok saying? What is Jay Powell rumored to be talking about tonight, or anyone? All right. You didn't say Jay Powell, did you? Or yeah, you did say Powell. But anyway, let's see what old Grok thinks. Yeah, I hear you, Mark. All right. Set to deliver brief remarks at a panel, because everyone's thinking they can maybe get some, maybe read between the lines on what he says or whatever. Do you guys remember back in the day whenever Greenspan was the chairman of the Fed, and people at CNBC would look at how thick his briefcase was, or he had like a portfolio thing with papers stuffed in it or whatever. And when it was super thick, it meant there was a rate cut coming or something. And you guys remember that? I remember that. DJN just bought some Bitcoin. Oh, he bought some Bitcoin, yes, but he sold. Yeah, so he sold shares. Okay, I got you. And also they sold shares to raise cash. He was saying we're having a cash reserve, otherwise known as just cash. Or now that I think about it, I remember them talking about it on CNBC. He needs cash to pay the yield off his off those preferreds that he has out, Stretch and Stride and all that. And so they're creating a cash reserve or whatever, but they called it a cash treasury or something. I mean, kind of like they have a big, Anyway, I was laughing about that. All right. Yeah. Trucking for dividends. And that would be Joe, right? Joe says Saylor bought more Bitcoin and started a cash treasury for dividend. Yeah. No Bitcoin. So, okay. Good. Granny's still holding strong. I've kind of ignored that one. Starting to look more like a core income ETF. I guess I'll see what, I'm going to see what happens when the first distribution comes out. But Granny might be a good holding to put in the diversified divas, but I mean, I think I'm already falling enough in there. But Granny could be one of those. It's a hedge fund style, because they can switch stocks in and out as much as they want, and they're probably just doing covered calls and covered call spreads, but whatever. But yeah, I'm glad it's looking good. Max, any thoughts on the so-called baby bonds? Like, I heard something about that this morning, but I forget what I heard. It was the first time I'd heard about him. Just heard about those, yeah, for the first time recently. Let's get a little Grok rundown. Let's see what Grok says about it. Really, sometimes Claude's better for financial stuff, but Grok's really good for social media rumor stuff. All right, here, I blew it up so you guys can see it. Baby bonds are a type of fixed income security, essentially a corporate bond issued in smaller denominations. Oh, 25 for a par value. Okay, instead of 1,000. Okay, I got you. Which often required investments of 1,000. Yeah, this makes them more accessible to retail. They function like regular bonds, paying periodic interest payments, otherwise known as coupons, and returning principal at maturity. But their lower entry point has earned the baby nickname. All right, utilities, telecom, investment banks, or BDCs. All right. 10 to 30 years, interest payments, callable. All right, Adam H, ticker symbol. For Adamas or whatever that is. Somebody was talking about that, and it was all BR. There was a post I saw on Discord. I didn't really understand it, but it had to do with Adam, and I thought it was a closed-end fund or whatever. So let me go back here. Let's look in Discord and see what. I guess I don't have a Discord window open anywhere. Oh yeah, I do. But it was something like they've raised their dividend every year. I don't remember where it was at though. Maybe alternative assets. I think it was alternative assets. Yeah, here it is. Monthly payments, sustainable growth. Is that not it? Oh no, this is Main Street. It says MA. All right, I got it confused. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. But if you guys heard about this one, Main Street Capital Corporation, this is probably a closed-end fund. It looks like they've raised their dividends every year forever. Anyway, all right. So no, I hadn't heard about that. Let's go look at this. Adamas Trust Inc. It's a REIT. It's a REIT. That's a good-looking chart. Breakout. Huge breakout. And it gapped over this old, it's that's a breakaway gap, and it's holding, or probably some of it filled right here. And now there's buyers here. Yeah, buy on that one. But no, so I hadn't heard about that. So let's get a longer term look at this company. Let's look at weekly charts. All right, it hasn't been around that long. Let's look at daily charts. Yeah, I mean, heck yeah. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, but thanks for telling me about that. Thank you for telling me about that. All right. Yeah, it's an MREIT, just like is Realty. Yeah. You almost bought Maine, but got GBDC instead. Okay, so Maine is a deal. It's a great slow and steady payer. Yeah. Heck yeah. So Adamas is the parent company and doesn't seem to be well regarded. They can be redeemed for 100 in 2030. So the par value is 25, but they can be redeemed at 100 in 2030, and they pay a coupon. That sounds pretty good. No rating on the parent company is why. Okay, I got you. I think I heard about that. I got in on the middle of a conversation on X, and it was Brad, Income Architect, and he said that same thing. He goes, "Well, they aren't even rated by any of the agencies. I'd stay away from it or whatever." And I didn't know what the heck he's talking about. But anyway, thank you guys you guys are better than Grok. All right, Joe, what's going on? Do I suspect a possible commodity super cycle brewing? Okay, yeah, Joe and I do like to know locations. I'll try to remember. I'm big into, where things are, where people live. Okay, so Nebraska, okay. Omaha, home of the World Series, home of the, home of the Cornhuskers. All right, Joe. Trying to think of how I can remember that, Joe. I'm trying to think if there's somebody from Nebraska's team named Joe that's a famous person. Anyway, I've watched Nebraska play football my whole life. They're Oklahoma's arch rival. But anyway, Cornhuskers. All right. Commodity super cycle. I mean, it's, it kind of feels like it. I mean, they were talking today about, I just always tell you stuff that I've heard. I mean, not this anyway. They were talking today on CNBC about if there was a short squeeze, if there was a short squeeze in silver, and there's a rumor going around that there is. But then the expert came on and said, no, that's just a rumor. But I don't know if it keeps going up, maybe it could turn into a short squeeze. Yeah, no, I knew where you're from, Mayor. I got Mayor, and I got, Omaha Joe. Yeah. If his name was Steak, I could remember. Anyway, Omaha Steaks. I'm just trying to think of stuff I remember it with. But anyway, and well, here's the thing. Here's how I'm going to think of it. The trucking capital of the world is, I've always thought it was Oklahoma City because it sits on I-35 and I-40. It may not be really Oklahoma City, but it's one of them. There is, I mean, you can't go anywhere in the south side of Oklahoma City, which is kind of the rough part of town, but there is everything having to do with long haul trucking, repair shop, everything. It's just how it is. But I think that any of these central states, Kansas and Nebraska, are also good hubs for trucking because you can get to either coast. They're centrally located. Real estate's cheap. That's how I'm going to remember it. Joe's a trucker and he's centrally located. He could get to Oregon just as fast as he could get to Connecticut, probably, or whatever. That's how I'm going to remember it. Yeah, Mayor, I know where you're from. Okay, and DGen is, I'll never remember that name. I'm going to try to, but maybe if I keep, Riker in Michigan. Anyway, I'll work on that. I'll work on that, DGen. Joe, but oh yeah. Yeah, because he's on this channel, so we're interested in investing and stuff. Yeah, it would even be better if Joe was always talking about buying and holding long-term stocks for value and stuff. But no, I got you, Joe Buffett. Yeah, that's not the worst one. That's not the worst one. Okay, so you're Riker from as in Riker from Star Trek. Well, I didn't think about that, but now I would have to still associate Star Trek with Michigan somehow. But yeah, I get the Riker part of it. Okay. Here's BR from the great state of Georgia. For some reason, are you BR? Are you Brad? Are you Athens? For some reason, I thought you were Athens. Anyway, I think I would like Athens. I've never been, but I bet I would like Athens. Commander Riker's what you're named after. That's awesome. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That is cool. Jonathan. Anyway, don't get that comment. All right. Yeah, about 2 hours below. Okay, so not from Athens for some reason. Yeah, I've always thought Athens looked like a good time. Hang on, I'm gonna let Jackson out. I think he wanted to go out. Somebody walked in the front door and he smelled him. He wants to go. Mess around. All right. So what else do we have to look at? Riker, like the main character in I forgot about Altered Carbon. We used to watch that all the time when I first got to Austin. And I met my friends that I'm still friends with now. We were always watch every TV and movie and whatever every night. And yeah, Altered Carbon was a big deal in 2017, 18, 19, something like that. We were also watching a lot of Homeland around that time. A lot of the best show ever, the best TV show that's ever been made is Ray Donovan. Or maybe not the best one that's ever been made, but it's the best one that's come out in recent years. I mean, Sopranos is good. There's other ones, but man, Ray Donovan is incredible. That show is incredible. Yeah, so BR is near Macon, I guess. That's it. Jackson, what's the matter? Oh, he's all right. Statesboro. Who's from Statesboro? Is that the Allman Brothers, or they're from where are the Allman Brothers from? They're from Statesboro, right? or no, they're from somewhere that I should know. The NXS is from Athens. And I got sick of hearing them in college. When I went to college, that's all that was played, NXS. I mean, anyway, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing NXS. I never did like them that much. I mean, they're all right, but yeah, Statesboro. That's that. I think that's where the Almonds are from. Hang on a second. Macon. Okay. All right. All right. It was formed in Jacksonville. You know what other band was formed in Jacksonville was Lynyrd Skynyrd, or they were from Jacksonville, I think, right? Anyway, but then they relocated to Macon, sort of. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good one. And how close is it to Muscle Shoals? I know that's in Alabama, but there's a lot of good music that came out of that area. You know, those recorded down in Muscle Shoals. The Statesboro Blues. That's where I was getting that. That's why it came in my. That's why I said I think that's the Almonds. But you're right. That's what I was thinking of. Statesboro's home of Zaxby's Chicken. Really, I love Southern chicken places. The one we have here, and we had it back in Oklahoma too, was Raising Cane's, and that's out of well, it's out of Louisiana, but it's out of where the college is down there. Whatever the name of the college town is down there, where LSU's at. Anyway, I don't know if all chicken places have this thing, but they have some sauce that's like pink at Raising Cane's, and I've looked up how to make it. It's like 2 parts mayonnaise, 2 parts ketchup, 1 part mayonnaise, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and a lot of pepper, tons of pepper. Anyway, I love that spicy dip with chicken dip. I don't know if that's a standard thing at all Southern chicken places. But man, I love that. In fact, I'm craving some of that sauce right now. Or I'm craving Raising Cane's. I like some Raising Cane's. We have a Zaxby's in Norman also. Comeback sauce, is that what it's called? It's not the same thing as Outback. They have an orange sauce that is also good, but I didn't know if the comeback was related to Outback. I don't know why I thought that. But I love their bloomin' onion sauce. That it's probably basically the same thing, but it probably has like horseradish or something. It's spicier. Baton Rouge, yes, absolutely. Baton Rouge. Statesboro Blues, originally a blind Willie McTell song. My favorite Allman Brothers song is the Ballad of Elizabeth, whatever that's called. I just like the chords in that, and that's just a great song. A Ballad of Elizabeth Reed. I like that song a lot. They have a lot of good songs. All right. Well, I'm out of stuff to talk about. I think we've looked at everything. I'll let you guys get out of here. You guys going to be here for the Daily Factor tonight? Now, remember, it's Misty Monday. So we're going to be looking at MicroStrategies, surrogates, and we'll also do Coinbase and Hood, I guess. I'll just throw them all in together, and we'll just compare them because they're all Bitcoin surrogates. But it's fun to call it Misty Monday. Then tomorrow will be Tesla Tuesday, but we'll do tech surrogates. It'll be Tesla, NVIDIA, and Tesla, NVIDIA. What's the other big one that's a tech one? Whatever. I'll just see whatever's out there. And then Wednesday, REM was I said NXS. I'm so sorry. It was REM. I meant REM. And that was also played a lot in college. And I'm also not real crazy about them. You're right. It was not NXS. Oh, God, it was REM. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to think. You guys remember that song? How did that song go? They had one song that was so annoying. They had one song that was so annoying. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Every time I walked in the house, in the frat house in college, that was on. Yeah, NXS is Aussie. I don't know what I was thinking. I meant REM. I really did. I was thinking REM, but I was thinking about that song. But anyway, but I knew it. Yeah, I knew it was REM. I mean, I would have thought about it later. Look at MondoDB is up 20% tonight. That's insane. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for being here. Be there tonight. I'll try to do it right about 7 so we can, so it'll be 8 your time, so it won't be too late for the people on the West Coast. We'll do it at 7 my time. And other than that, remember, not financial advice, consult a professional licensed advisor. That's always a good bet. Also, if you enjoy the content, you can always send me a tip over at paypal.me/Max Convexity. And outside of that, like and subscribe. And yeah, I know it. I should have known that. I'm usually pretty good on my trivia, but I just got overexcited. I was thinking about that song. I was thinking it was In Excess, but as soon as you put REM, that's what I actually meant. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I Need You Tonight. That's REM, right? Yeah, and REM, this one goes out to the one I love. You know, that one, I never really cared for REM or In Excess. The best music in the late 80s that was that type of music was The Cure, in my opinion, and maybe Depeche Mode. But I just didn't care for In Excess and REM. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and I will talk to you later. See you, Joe from Omaha. See, I remembered, and I need to remember